Good afternoon.
Hello. Hi, neighbor.
Sure.
I was testing my my sound system there. Seems to be working.
Are you downtown?
He's next door.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. It's starting to feel real again.
Yes.
I ran into him and it was like seeing a celebrity. I was like,
Well, the coffee good here.
Adorable when it's not your family.
yes.
Rebecca, you're on for the pledge today.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I looked at the calendar and you're on.
Count me in.
Okay. And looks like there's Miss Prince and Mr. Gilbert. Sherry, I'm leaving all the demoting and promoting to you so that we don't stumble on top of each other there. It looks like
Okay.
we're pretty good.
Yeah, we have a smaller group today too.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks like we're all here. So, and I see we're recording. So, doing pretty good. We're on time. I will call the St. Paul City Council to order. Roll call.
Tao,
Here.
Tolbert,
Here.
Yang,
Here.
Jalali,
Here.
Naker,
Here.
Prince,
Here.
Council President Brenmon.
Here.
7 present, no one absent.
Please stand and join Vice President Naker as she leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Consent agenda items 2 through 13 are before you for your consideration.
And item number 9 has been withdrawn. Is there anything else to be taken for separate consideration? All right, seeing none, Mr. Tao moves consent. Roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The consent agenda is adopted as amended. Item 14 is final adoption of ordinance 21-11, granting the application of 1164 West 7th LLC to rezone property at 1164 7th Street West from RT2 Townhouse Residential to RM2 Multiple Family Residential and amending Chapter 60 of the Legislative Code pertaining to the zoning map.
Right, and this is final adoption of this ordinance moved by Ms. Naker. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The ordinance is adopted. Item 15 is final adoption of ordinance 21-12, granting the application of Hovde Properties LLC to rezone property at 1219 St. Clair Avenue from B1 local business to T3 traditional neighborhood and amending Chapter 60 of the Legislative Code pertaining to the zoning map.
All right, and this is the third reading, final vote on this matter moved by Mr. Tolbert. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The ordinance is adopted. Item 16, Resolution Public Hearing 21-69, authorizing an increase in Department of Parks and Recreation Grant Fund in the amount of $15,000 to reflect funds received from the Minnesota State Arts Board and entering into a grant agreement.
All right, and this is a public hearing that's been held virtually. As such, Ms. Jalali would move to close the public hearing and approve. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yep.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenman.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. Public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 17, Resolution Public Hearing 21-86, amending the financing and spending plans, the Department of Public Works capital and operating budgets for the 2021 Bikeway Improvement Program.
And this item also has been, a public hearing has been held virtually. As such, Ms. Yang moves to close the public hearing and approve. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yes.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenman.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 18, Resolution Public Hearing 21-96, approving the application of Ballet Company Laboratory for a sound level variance in order to present live amplified music on May 22nd at 2 Wabasha Street, which is Raspberry Island.
Oh, did not know that address.
I didn't either.
I know where Raspberry Island is, though. All right. This public hearing has been held virtually. As such, Ms. Naker moves to close the public hearing and approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yes.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenman.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 19, Resolution Public Hearing 21-97, approving the application of El Burrito Mercado for 2 sound level variances in order to present amplified music on 5 Friday evenings for Fiestas Mexicanas Friday series, May 28th through September 17th, and on 5 Saturday evenings for Fiesta Latina Saturday series, Saturday, June 5th through September 18th at the El Burrito patio space at 175 Cesar Chavez Street.
All right. This public hearing also has been held virtually. As such, Ms. Naker would move to close the public hearing and approve. Ms. Naker.
Thanks, Council President. Just a note that it is wonderful to see this sound level variance being requested because it means that a wonderful community event is coming back. If you haven't been to La Placita at El Burrito, you really need to check it out. And I also want to thank DSI. I remember working with Melissa at El Burrito and DSI's very hardworking staff to try to figure out how to do these multiple sound level variances with just one application. And I know it's been applied many other times since, but appreciate the flexibility to do that. I move approval.
Did have similar note when I saw it today that it means that we're slowly but surely coming back to a more normal place. So it's exciting to see this activity, and I'm sure it will be modified, but so I would support the motion as well. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yes.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenman.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 20, Resolution Public Hearing 21-99, authorizing the Police Department to amend the 2021 Special Fund Budget to add the missed 2020 year-end technical amendment for the 2020 CGIC grant.
All right, and this public hearing was held virtually. As such, Mr. Tao would move to close the public hearing and approve. Any discussion on that motion? All right, seeing none, roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yes.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenman.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 21, Resolution Public Hearing 21-104, authorizing the Police Department to amend the 2021 Special Fund Budget to add the missed 2020 year-end technical amendment for the 2019 auto theft grant.
Is year end one word? Is that correct? It looks strange to me. But nevertheless, this is public hearing has been held virtually. And as such, Mr. Tolbert would move to close the public hearing and approve. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yes.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 22, Ordinance 21-13, granting the application of Veris Pradium Holding LLC to rezone the property at 1001 Rainy Avenue from RT1 two-family residential to RM1 low-density multifamily residential and amending Chapter 60 of the Legislative Code pertaining to the zoning map.
All right, and this is the second reading of this ordinance and therefore the public hearing, which has been held virtually. And as such, Ms. Prince would move to close the public hearing. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yes.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the ordinance is laid over to May 5th for final adoption. Item 23, Ordinance 21-14, granting the application of L&N Black Properties LLC to rezone property at 554 Broadway Street from I-1 Light Industrial to B5 Central Business Service District and amending Chapter 60 of the Legislative Code pertaining to the zoning map.
And this is the second reading public hearing of this ordinance. And we have held that public hearing virtually. As such, Ms. Naker would move to close the public hearing. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yes.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the ordinance is laid over to May 5th for final adoption.
Mr. Tao moves suspension of the rules. Roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yep. Yes. Sorry.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
That's third.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The rules are suspended. Resolution 21-673, clarifying the City Council's sole authority to review appeals from the zoning code.
Mr. Tao.
Hey, Council President and colleague, I'm seeking a 2-week layover for this item.
All right, so there's a motion for a 2-week layover on this item. Any discussion on that motion? All right, seeing none, roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yes.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The resolution is laid over to May 12th.
Council President, I have another item seeking another suspension item that's in Legistar.
It's in Legistar.
I'm not aware of it, so I don't have it.
Mr. Tao, do you say it's in Legistar system?
Yeah. My Chong or Stephanie, I believe my Chong already put it in there.
I'm seeing it.
Well, perhaps we can move on to legislative hearing items and give folks a chance to do the background work on this one, the inputting.
The legislative hearing officer recommends adoption of the following resolutions as no objections to these recommendations were received. Item 24, RLHTA 21-147, 1647 Barclay.
Ms. Moore,
Yeah?
I'm sorry, Ms. Mormon has a hand up.
Oh, okay.
I do. I have a last second change that was just sent in to me. If item number 37 could be moved from the first list, which is to adopt, to the second list, which is to adopt and amend, in order that we could send one property back to legislative hearings. So 37 out of the first section and into the second section. Thank you.
I'll take care of that for you right now.
Okay, so I'll just start over with the legislative hearing items. Item 24, RLHTA 21-147, 1647 Barclay Street. Item 27, RLH VBR 21-20, 1611 Fremont Avenue. Item 29, RLH FCO 21-46, 1354 Maryland Avenue East. Item 30, RLH TA 21-69, 197 Roby Street West. Item 31, RLH RR 21-40, 1179 7th Street East. Item 32, RLH TA 21-149, 1236 and 1238 7th Street East. Item 33, RLH SAO 21-28, 1646 Taylor Avenue. And item 38, RLH AR 21-31, Property Cleanup Services. And the motion for these items would be to adopt.
All right, so moved by Ms. Prince. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao?
Aye.
Tolbert?
Yes.
Yang?
Aye.
Jalali?
Aye.
Naker?
Aye.
Prince?
Aye.
Council President Brenman?
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearings are closed and the resolutions are adopted. For the following items, no objections to the legislative hearing officer's amended recommendations were received, and therefore she recommends amendment and adoption of items 25, RLH TA 21-57, 1252 Earl Street, item 30, RLH TA 21-69, 197 Roby Street West, item 34, RLH TA 20-596, 1935 University Avenue West. Item 36, RLH RR 21-10, 521 York Avenue. And item 37, which is Property Cleanup Services. And again, the motion is to amend and adopt these items.
So moved by Ms. Yang. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenman.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearings are closed and the resolutions are adopted as amended. For the following items, the legislative hearing officer's recommendation is to continue the public hearings to the dates I will note. Item 26, RLH VO 21-12, 854 Euclid Street, May 5th. Item 28, RLH TA 21-159, 50 Hatch Avenue, September 15th. And item 35, RLH FCO 21-47, 1276 Wilson Avenue, May 12th. And again, the motion is to continue the public hearings to the dates noted. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All
I'm still
right.
frazzled.
So moved by Ms. Jalali. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tobert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearings are continued to the dates that I mentioned.
Is that the last of the legislative hearings?
It is.
Right. Mr. Tao moves suspension of the rules. Roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tobert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
No.
7 in favor, 1 opposed. That being Council President Brenmon, the rules are suspended. I'm sorry, 6 in favor, 1 opposed.
Thank you, colleague. I checked the registrar and it looks like it's being populated. So we've also sent a copy to you via email. So if you haven't got a chance to take a look at your email, this resolution is resolution 21-696 and version 1 in Legistar. The resolution is titled Resolution Requesting an Advisory Opinion from the AG's office. And I want to just quickly share my screen here if that's possible. Can folks see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
The resolution reads, whereas April 7, 2021 meeting, the Small City Council denied APC 21-1 an appeal by Lattice LLC Planning Commission decision denying the site plan application for a new mixed-use development located at 411 and 417 Lexington Parkway North of the Planning Commission's decision. And whereas at its April 14, 2021 meeting, the City Council adopted Resolution 21632, memorizing the April 7, 2021 decision denying appeal by a Lattice LLC from a Planning Commission decision denying a site plan application. And whereas on April 14, 2021, the mayor vetoed Resolution 21623, and whereas the council member had brought forward Resolution 21673, raising multiple legal issues, the mayor's veto, and whereas the General Attorney's Office is authorized by statute to issue written legal opinions only to constitutional executive branch, executive officers, agency, body of the state legislator, and attorney for local governments or pension fund. And these opinions do not generally have legally binding effects as a court decision, but they can be helpful to inform the actions of local public officials. And some opinions are formally published while others are not. And now therefore be resolved that in an attempt to avoid litigation of these issues, the City Council Director, City Attorney to request an advisory opinion from the Minnesota Attorney General on the legality and effect of the mayor's veto in light of the issue raised by Resolution 21673, relevant provision of the city zoning code charter, and the mayor's veto message, and be it further resolved, the City Council direct the City Attorney to include a copy of Resolution 21673 as written as part of the informal request for opinion. And so I'm moving this forward, and I request that, my colleague be open and considerate of this so that we could get clarity from the AG. I think that it makes sense. A lot of question has been raised, and I think that it's in our interest to also learn what the AG's opinion was.
Thank you, Mr. Tao. And I just to clarify my own position on suspending the rules on this item, I generally am supportive. I understand that deadlines come up, but I am always concerned when we don't have an opportunity to see a resolution, or even in this case, it wasn't in the system when it came up on the agenda. And so I am very, very willing to consider this matter, but I honestly haven't had an opportunity to look at it beyond this very moment. And I think that more time would be in order before a vote. And I would be supportive of some appropriate layover to give colleagues as well as the public an opportunity to see what's been proposed. Ms. Prince.
Yeah, I think one of the issues here is that the resolution of this issue is extremely it's very time sensitive, because the whether or not the mayor's veto was appropriate in this case determines when permits will be issued on this project. And so by delaying this another week, we are delaying resolution of that issue. So I would not support a layover.
Mr. Tolbert.
I would agree with Council President Bremon, as I think we all are just reading it during this meeting, which it feels pretty quick. The other thing that is confusing to me, just as my quick glance at it, is what exactly we are asking the Attorney General's office to give an opinion on. I put myself in the Attorney General's position as a lawyer, and if I read this, I wouldn't know exactly what I'd be writing my memo on. And that to me is just as, I think the layover would be to get this in, to get a specific question on there. I would suggest maybe working with the city attorney's office to see that. And just, I don't know how Attorney General's opinions work. I have read a few of them, and as I think this states, they are advisory, they're not legally binding. And so, depending on what the outcome is, we still could get sued in court, and a judge will ultimately decide it regardless of what the Attorney General opinion is. But I think if we're going to ask the Attorney General to give an opinion, we got to be very clear of what we're asking them to give an opinion on. And I have a hard time ascertaining that from this resolution.
And I see Ms. Jalali has a hand up too. I guess just on that point, it's referencing a resolution that we also just laid over for 2 weeks without a vote on it. So that's also somewhat complicated. Ms. Jalali?
I'd like to speak in support of this resolution. So I'm going to play back my understanding of the issues at play and then look to Councilmember Tao's office, who's really leading this, for clarification. But the resolution that was laid over lifts up legal concerns that have been brought to the City Council's attention following a mayoral veto of an appeal vote for a site plan. And it is, I think, from a process standpoint, important to get a referee who can speak to what the issues at play are, in that I am concerned that our playing back of the law and the charter as we see it feels politicized to community members who also want to see some of these other issues addressed. And I think that is unfortunate, and it's discouraging, and it's a hard situation. But this, to me, and why I would like to support the resolution, seems like one opportunity to get an additional review of those legal issues and some additional clarification. And so that to me seems like the value of bringing it forward. And I think it does specify what we want the review to be of, and it does specify the legal issues. And in staff follow-up, I think that we could reasonably direct and make that clear when requesting this outside support. In addition, I believe part of the urgency here is a sense that the project advancing with some uncertainty around these issues being addressed requires that we operate proactively, and that, knowing the demands on the Attorney General's office right now, it would be important to be able to submit a request like this. I will additionally say, I think it is important that we in the government be transparent with the community in this situation regarding the Lexington Station Apartments and the Lattice development, that we can go within the limits of our power in the law and lift up the community concerns and work no matter what happens within a legal process to fight for the vision that they have at that site. But there may come a point where we actually have reached and exhausted legal avenues that we can within our power. That doesn't mean the community can't fight on, and community members and individuals can't pursue a legal strategy. But I think it will become really important to clarify how that works with what the city is being asked to do, because we are in a position where we have to uphold not only community demand and a rightful fight for equity and affordability and process at this site, but also we're bound by the law too. And so I see this resolution as a step toward getting that reality. I also want to acknowledge the very real time constraints, because we're asking for an additional office to consider, which could present challenges logistically, and I do feel like it is a good avenue. And so I'm willing to vote in support today, and I simply wanted to speak to why.
I see Ms. Naker, Mr. Tao, Ms. Yang, and I do also, I wouldn't mind a moment of intermission to just ask the city attorney's office about, again, I think it would be perfectly fine to do this. It feels just a little messy and complicated to me, but I don't know if we have any guarantees that when Ms. Prince mentions that time is of the essence, I don't know if the AG will even take this. I don't know how long it usually takes to turn around an opinion. Has anyone contacted the Attorney General to make this request? There's a phone number on the webpage. You know, it's feeling haphazard to me. I'm wondering if Ms. Tierney or Mr. Warner have any experience with this or know what the backside of this looks like. I simply don't know.
Council President Branmo, and this is Rachel Tierney. I found out about this about 7 minutes before the council hearing, did have an opportunity to check in with a colleague who worked for the Attorney General's office. He tells me that the turnaround on requests like this are somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 weeks, but it totally depends on the workload of the office at the time. He did caution me, though, that this may, and I may even say likely, falls into a bucket of matters that the Attorney General's office isn't likely to weigh in on. But, you know, that doesn't preclude the request. But I just want to make sure that expectations are set. There are some other Attorney General opinions that he forwarded to me that I have not yet read, which he said led him to the conclusion that the Attorney General's office was unlikely to offer an opinion on this issue.
All right, which doesn't preclude us from making the request, but that's good background information. It's not something that we've entertained recently, so I appreciate that insight. Ms. Naker, then Mr. Tao, then Ms. Yang.
Thanks, Council President, and thanks to my colleagues for bringing this forward. I think I have a question, 2 questions just to clarify, and I think maybe these are for my colleagues. One is just, it looks to me like this resolution is directing the city attorney to make the request of the Attorney General. And, you know, obviously we can't direct any of the departments by resolution to do anything. Does the request have to come from the city attorney's office? And is that why it's being phrased that way? Or can this request come directly from us to the Attorney General's office? That's one question. And then secondly, I understand people's sense of urgency because this may have an impact on the project. I guess I'm just wondering, does this have any impact on the project? Given that the Attorney General's advice is not legally binding, does the fact that we've made this request mean that, say, the developer cannot move forward with the development if this is happening? So I'm just trying to figure out what the practical impact of having made this request would be.
Is that a question for Ms. Tierney or who's?
It is for anyone who's able to answer it. It's just information that I feel like I don't have.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So it is one of the requirement would be that it would be from an attorney of local government. So that is correct. So that we would be asking our city attorney to get an opinion. The council couldn't do it by itself. We would have to ask our city attorney to do it. And the second.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Councilman Prince.
I would just offer that we have very regularly and often passed resolutions directing or requesting our departments to do things. And so I think that it is at least an established practice. I just wanted to offer that. I think that's appropriate for the situation.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Before we all opine on this, can we just get an answer from the city attorney's office as well?
Council President Brenmo, which question would you like me to answer?
Ms. Naker's question about where's the direction is required to come from the city attorney's office, and can that come from at the direction of the council?
Council President Brenmo and council members, I'm not sure. Like I said, in my career, I don't believe we've ever asked for an attorney general's opinion. So the way I read the statute, it does look like it needs to come from an attorney for the jurisdiction. I have obviously not had an opportunity to talk this over with Lindsay Olson. She is out of town. And so can't really speak to what her position would be on this issue. I will tell you, Council Member Naker appropriately expressed what I believe to be the case, which is that the council cannot by resolution order departments to take any action, but I simply can't speak to where Ms. Olson would be at this particular issue.
And then Ms. Tierney, while you have the mic, would you speak to my second question just about the practical impact of this on the development itself?
Council President Brenmo and Councilmember Naker, I mean, obviously the zoning decision is made. This is an advisory opinion that we would be asking for, would not be a binding legal authority. So regardless of what the Attorney General's position would be, that doesn't change our legal framework. And so if we believe that the mayor's veto was valid, then we would need to move forward with, if there were applications that came in for building permits, those would not be able to be delayed because this decision was pending.
All right, thank you. I see Mr. Tao, Ms. Yang, Ms. Prince, and then Ms. Jalali.
Thank you, Council President. I think that it's important that we get this opinion from the AG, because in my conversation with our staff, this veto has caused confusion, and the department are involved in this site plan. And so I think that this is beneficial not only to our departments, but even the council. If it's creating confusion for us, imagine the type of confusion that it's creating for our staff. And so I think it's important that we get a different opinion on this. And we're setting precedents here. We're going stepping on places that we've never gone before. And so I think that we need to be transparent. We need to be accountable to the law the best that we can. Getting a third opinion from the AG, or an opinion from AG, only benefits us going forward.
Ms. Yang.
Thanks, Council President. I am expressing my full support for this resolution, and I wouldn't support a layover. I feel, we have the language right here ready for everyone to take a look at. If you need discussion, you can have the discussion right here. I'd also like to name another thing too is just the amount of community support that we have had around this. It's a really high profile issue like in our city right now, and it really deserves to be, because I think that for something like this that has never happened before, we really deserve to have an answer. And I really appreciate the council members who do support the resolution, because we are trying to find a solution around this. And I know that in terms of like where the votes landed for the appeal on Lattice, it wasn't a unanimous support, but I think it would be really important for us to actually get an answer on this, no matter which way you voted, because we don't want to have anyone in the future be in a space where it's really, it's an area of gray and we're really confused, and, we're trying to get answers, but, even our staff don't even have consistent answers for us. So I am in full support of this and really looking forward to getting it passed.
Ms. Prince, then Ms. Jalali, then Mr. Tolbert.
To the issue of our being able to direct the city attorney or not, I want to say this. The city council is supposed to have counsel. We recognize that the city attorney's office, Miss Olson is appointed by the mayor and part of the administration. Ms. Tierney is assigned to be the city council's attorney. So I'm a little bit confused and concerned that we don't have the ability to direct our assistant city attorney to work on our behalf. But if that is the conclusion of our assistant city attorney, I would make a friendly amendment that we change the word directs to requests. Secondly, I completely believe that this is a really vitally important issue to get some insight on. Going to the Attorney General's office is a sensible way to get a read on the mayor's action of vetoing a 5-month quasi-judicial process, setting all of those findings aside with a veto letter that in no way references the quasi-judicial process and has the effect of awarding a $57 million project unilaterally to a developer. So from that standpoint, I think we have to consider that this is a precedent and that it's just a wise move for us to seek some additional counsel in this way. And that's why the Attorney General does this. And if they don't end up wanting to entertain this, then at least we've given it a try. But I will vote in support of this today.
Ms. Jalali, then Mr. Tolbert.
I would simply offer to, in addition to that, thank you, Councilmember Prince, that I am aware that it's requesting a formal advisory opinion. The resolution that it references and the issues brought therein were also being asked to be voted on before this council in a way that was asking us to basically judge the merit and legality of an opinion being brought forward. And it felt challenging for me to think about how one would best do that as a council member when there are many competing opinions, and it is hard to, I just keep thinking of the phrase referee. I think that there are clear legal bases, but there's also clear dispute. And I just see this as a way to more appropriately honor a community request that has been brought forward to address those issues. I also want to reemphasize, I recognize the time constraints and the urgency, and that we are asking an additional party to support us in this way as a city and to support our community in this conversation. And I am not personally comfortable making promises on that timeline because I don't control the Attorney General's office, but I do control what I can do as a councilwoman, which is to do the best possible thing in the moment when we are held to two demands: uphold the law and uphold community request. And we are trying, I see myself as trying my best to honor those things, and I see other folks supporting this resolution as trying to do that as well. So I simply wanted to offer that as additional thought.
Thank you, Ms. Jalali, and I appreciate your role as moderator in the conversation and trying to find solutions that make sense as we move forward. And then perhaps I've said this already, but I certainly am not opposed to the idea of making a request to the Attorney General's office. I have people from the public texting me that they don't have access to this. We talk about transparency, and I'm just saying it feels like it's flying at us. Our attorney hasn't looked at it. The public hasn't looked at it. Council hasn't looked at it. That is why I thought perhaps a 1-week layover would be in order, recognizing that there is a call for some urgency, but the back end of it is kind of open-ended as well. But I'm certainly not speaking in opposition to the actual act, or do not, and perhaps we even have that authority on our own standing. But just sometimes things get recharacterized in the course of a conversation. And to me, it's just, this is an item that's fairly, like we've heard several people say, we haven't done this. And so I really think that it would make sense to make sure that we do it the right way. I see Mr. Tolbert and Mr. Tao.
Yeah, and I feel in a similar position as Councilmember Brenmo, having received this actual in writing during the council meeting, and trying to put this and the resolution 21-673, which it references, together while also listening to people's arguments is a lot. And I go back to my original thing, and under state law, it does look like only the city attorney can request this. So we would need them to write it and make the request to the Attorney General's office. I do think the thing that should be clear, and we should make it clear, it looks like the votes for this to pass are here, but my suggestion, make it clear to the city attorney's office what we want them to ask for. I just reread the original one that got laid over for 2 weeks, and there's a lot of statements in there that the mayor does not have veto power. There's no question in there. And I think what we want resolved, we should be very clear. And if we want this, I mean, I'll start by saying, I think our city attorney does a very good job of separating their representation. And I believe we get good legal advice from them. But if people on this call believe that we need to ask the Attorney General for a legal opinion on the mayor's veto power, I think we should be very specific and make it so that it can actually be applicable to future things, not just one case. And so that's the reason I don't feel comfortable voting for this today, because I don't know what we're asking. And if I was a city attorney that had to write this, if the city attorney's office does make the decision to do that, I would have difficulty writing that. And I think the Attorney General's office, just reading these two resolutions, could get an idea about what the disagreement's about. But if we want a question answered, we should be very specific about what it's going to be. And that's my hesitation, is it's unclear. And this is a unique circumstance. I can count on, I think, one hand the number of times we've had mayoral vetoes in general. I don't know if we've had zoning ones before, but it's not, I believe the mayor stated the mayoral authority in the veto letter. That seemed legitimate to me based on the city charter. But if we want to get a second opinion, let's just be very clear about what we're asking them for. And that's why I think maybe taking the time to write it specifically and so that we can make that message clear would be worthwhile. But based on what people have said today, it sounds like this is going to pass. That's just my suggestion.
Mr. Tao.
Council President, we're going to call a question, and if the resolution does pass, we'll be looking forward to working with the city attorney's office to clarify any misunderstanding.
There was a friendly amendment from Ms. Prince. Did you want to accept that as written or as stated? Ms. Prince, I believe, said, I don't remember. You just had a friendly amendment, something.
Direct, yeah, instead of direct, you want to request.
Would you accept that as a friendly amendment? Then we don't need to vote for it. Okay.
Would.
Okay. All right. I do. So I agree with what I heard Mr. Tolbert say too. It sounds like the votes are there to move this forward. And I will not be supporting it simply for the reasons I stated earlier. I do, as we think about this, I wonder too about the precedent of, the work that we do here with other matters such as the tenants protection, the trash question, other items that come up, and this is just highly unusual. So it'll be interesting to see how things shake out from the perspective of the Attorney General's office. But again, I'm generally supportive of exploring all the different channels and options. This one came in just a little bit too late and a little too messy for me to get behind today. So I'm not going to be supporting that motion. Mr. Tao did call the question, and so we should vote. Roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
No.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Nager.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye. I said no, I mean.
No.
No, I'm sorry. I meant to say no.
Okay. 5 in favor, 2 opposed, being council members Tolbert and Brenmon. The resolution is adopted as amended.
All right, that brings us to the end of our agenda today. Does anyone have news from the wards or updates they'd like to share before we adjourn? Ms. Prince?
Yeah, I just want to call people's attention to the Visit St. Paul website, where they've got a great blog post on our favorite St. Paul patios for dining and gathering. So I just on this beautiful sunny day that we have not been having lately, I just wanted to encourage people to look up places to spend your summer on St. Paul patios.
I saw that article too, and I saw the picture on the front and meant to, was it Frost that they had featured? I don't remember, but it looked like a wonderful space. Got to get out there, got to get to Brunson's. Mr. Tolbert.
Yeah, just want to recognize that on May 12th is our rescheduled Highland Bridge Virtual Parks Open House. Last week we passed the names, which we've gotten great feedback since we passed it. I don't know if you guys have gotten emails too, but we've gotten really good feedback in our office. But the virtual open house will be May 12th. All people are welcome. It's virtual, so obviously you can come from anywhere. And also make that open to all my colleagues if they'd like to join, just join us there. So thank you.
Great. But the things that we've done virtually never cease to amaze me. All right. Any other invitations or announcements from the wards? All right. Looks like there is none. So if there is nothing else to come before us today, we are adjourned. Thank you.